Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Oh goodness. I am in Mount Vernon, Texas. Got all my drops off today. We'll be picking up in the morning, 10 miles away, right by the scale house. Gee, thank you. Got grease on me. Can't get close to the big truck without getting grease. Did a post last night, and it's had like 97 views or something. A lot of views. Had 6 likes and 2 dislikes. I'm curious if somebody is trying to unite our country, is trying to help our country, and saying they're tired of the nonsense that's dividing our country, what is there about that to dislike? Why would you unlike it? Why would you give it the thumbs down? Now, was it the shirt I was wearing? I was showing my chest hair. Did that offend someone? Or is it someone don't want the country to be united? It could be that I called out the liberals and the Democrats for it. Could be I didn't sugarcoat it. Y'all know with Papa Joe, no sugar added. You know, our country's not perfect. Never has been, never will be. But it's our country. You should take pride in your country. You hear people, oh, take pride in your ride. Whether it's a 4-wheeler or 18-wheeler, take pride in your ride. And you got gay pride. And you got Latino pride and black pride. What's wrong with having American pride? And what's wrong with if somebody is telling you to get out of the past? What is wrong with that? Seriously. You know, yes, we need to remember our past for a country and a world. There's been a lot of bad stuff that has happened in the world history. I mean, we nailed our Savior to a cross. How much worse can it get than that? Slavery has been around since before Moses. Remember, Moses was a slave. And slavery, boy, I can't talk today. Slavery has been around since before that. I don't know when it first started. The Native Africans, they used to have slaves. The American Indians, they used to have slaves. Everybody used to have slaves. You know? The Jews had slaves. The slaves were Jews. Or the Jews were slaves. And I mean, it's just been a flip-flop. And slavery is not good regardless who's on what end of it. I do not wish to see slavery in the world. However, do you realize it's still there? It's still here. Its ugly head is still around. Some of that sex scandal out of D.C., which takes in both parties whether you like it or not. That has came out that some of them girls in there, and some boys, some of them individuals are sex slaves. Do you realize that in some parts of the world it's still acceptable to have sex slaves? That's not right. But it seems like here in America, we want to pick out that 100-year or 150-year, however long it was, that we had slaves here after becoming a country, we want to pick out that one small piece in the world history of slaves and say, poor pity me, and keep bringing it back up and using it for excuses and everything else, and then somebody like me get on here and tell you to stop it. And you get mad and unlike the video. Well, guess what? We do need to remember our past as a country and as a nation and as a world and as human history. We need to remember our past. Who was it that said that if you don't remember the past, you're bound to repeat it? Well, we do need to remember it. We need to learn from it. However, we don't need to relive it. We don't need to wallow in it. We don't need to stay there. We need to remember it, and then we need to unite and work forward, not backwards. The way our country is going right now with all the nonsense and the race baiting and all the poor pity me and all this other nonsense, our country is going backwards. Can't you see that? Really, can't you see that? Can't you see that it's the politicians and the media that is really pushing that? Can't you see that they want you to fall into the trap? They're brainwashing you, they're spoon feeding you, they're giving you the Kool-Aid. Why are you taking it? We as a nation, as united people, we're the ones that's going to have to put a stop to it. You cannot expect a government that created the problems to solve the problems. You cannot expect a media that makes money off of the problems to have any way of trying to resolve the problems. That comes down to our level, us. We have to unite together. We have to shun the nonsense that they're trying to put on our shoulders and in our heads and tell them, no, that is not how it needs to be. I do not understand people not wanting to better our country. I don't understand it. I do not understand people that claim they hate our country. The only thing our flag is good for is burning, and yet they stay here. They reap the benefits of this country. If this country is so bad, why are you here? If the other countries are so much better, why ain't you gone there already? I don't understand that at all. If you hate us as a nation, as the United States of America, if you hate us so bad, why have you not went to that better country that you know about? If you don't want to leave and go to that better country, how about knocking off the nonsense and helping us better this country? You know, I talked to a fella here a week or so back, and he was trying to convince me how good one world order is. Now, y'all know me well enough by now to know, no. And he was rambling on, and we got talking about Obamacare, and he thought Obamacare was good. And I told him Obamacare sucked. That's the worst thing that has happened to this country. trying to convince me how great it was and how we had all these people without insurance. And I said, no, we don't. I said, we have Medicaid and Medicare to help the poor and the elderly. We do not need to take our public health insurance and put it into the hands of the government, because they can't run nothing worth a damn. And he said, well, let me tell you about Medicaid and Medicare. I said, all right, tell me about it. If you have a life-threatening illness, you're going to die. I said, you know what? I said, you're right. I said, I can add 2 more things to that. He said, what? I said, whether you have a life-threatening illness, you're still going to die. That's a given. The only thing we're guaranteed in this life is death. That's the only thing. I said, and on top of that, I said, your Obamacare, if you get a life-threatening illness, you're still going to die. Now, with that being said, I said, you're telling me that you want one world order so that we can have everything the same all around the world and we can better ourselves. I said, how about instead of criticizing the country and taking away more stuff from us, that Medicaid and Medicare you say don't work, I said, how about improving it? Why would you want to add one more thing, national insurance, onto something the government cannot fix? They cannot control it. They cannot run it. So instead of taking away my insurance, how about fixing what's already on the books? I said, now you're so worried about the world. I said, we can't even fix our own problems in our country, and you're worried about the world? You're worried about the insurance around the world? How is one world order going to fix that? Who has better insurance than what we had? The ones that have national insurance, they have struggled. Some of them bankrupt their own country trying to do it, but we're not smart enough to learn from their mistakes. Canada's probably got the best policy for that kind of stuff, and they still struggle with it. If we cannot fix our own problems, what right do we have trying to tell the rest of the world how to fix theirs? If the rest of the world has their problems that they can't fix, what right do they have to tell us on how to fix ours? Have you seen Europe? With all their bleeding heart nonsense, they're in a world of hurt. Have you seen the sand countries over there? They're in the middle of another war. They've been fighting since the beginning of man. They have been fighting over there for over 2,000 years. They don't want peace. They have hated each other and tried to kill each other forever. Build a damn wall around them and let them settle it. Why are we keeping involved in it? I know, that'll fire some of you up. I am so tired of hearing about the innocents. Oh, but the innocent civilians over there. Really? There ain't no such thing. They've been born into it. They've been fighting for over 2,000 years. If you want to try to protect the innocent, vet them. Bring them over here and keep control of them. Keep tabs on them. Don't just bring anybody in here and cut them loose and say, go have fun. Much less don't bring them over here and give them all our money and all our benefits. We can't take care of ourselves. I cannot afford insurance, but yet a foreigner can come over here because they're a refugee and they get taken care of. That's wrong. We have veterans that have been hurt fighting for our freedoms. They can't get taken care of, but a refugee can. That's wrong. Like I said, our country has plenty of problems. How about uniting? Because guess what? The veterans that's been hurt fighting to get better, they of every race. Black, white, yellow, brown, city boys and girls, country boys and girls, from every state in the continent, from every state in the union. And yet we can't take care of them, but we can bring in refugees and take care of them. It's wrong. You cannot convince me any other way. The illegal aliens that we have sneaking across the border, that is soaking up all of our money in whatever fashion they're doing it, but yet we have Americans that are going hungry. It's wrong. The liberals and the Democrats like hollering about the black communities, how bad they're suffering. Well, how about quit giving our money to them foreign countries that hate us? How about quit giving our money to the illegals that are coming over here? How about taking that money that you're giving away and put back into our infrastructure, back into our cities, back into our people? We worked for it. We made it. We paid it to the government. How about putting it back into our country instead of sending it overseas? How about putting it back into our people instead of taking care of these illegals? How about if you came here illegal, you get arrested and deported? That's not racist. What happens to all the other countries? If you go to Mexico illegal, what's going to happen? Are they going to start arguing that you should be able to vote? Are they going to say that you need to get welfare and that we should give you money? No, they're going to lock your ass up. And so are all the other countries. Some of them shoot you. How come we're the only ones that are supposed to say, oh, come on, we love you? And I don't want to hear about we're a nation of immigrants. We all know that. But there's also checks and balances that are put in to keep all of this in control. Why is it when somebody like me get on here speaking the truth like this, you want to give me the thumbs down? How come you don't like the truth? Do you realize all these major cities that's having all the issues, they are ran by the Democrats for years? You don't want to hear that, do you? Why? Why don't you want the truth? How come you want everything candy-coated? How come you want the feel-good news? How come you want to listen to CNN and MSNBC and all them other alphabet news medias out there that's going to tell you what you want to hear? They're going to tell you that the guys trying to fix the stuff is the problem. They're going to try telling you that the working class out here, and I don't care what race they are, the working class out here that is busting their butts trying to survive and being robbed of their money by our government, they're going to try to tell you that we're the bad guy. And you're eating it up and thinking we're the bad guys. Are you that gullible, America? Wake up. Wake up. Turn off the TV. Get out here and talk to people. Talk to your neighbors. Talk to your friends. See how they're making out. See what they see going on. Talk to them. Turn off that drama TV nonsense and I can't even think what they call all that stuff now. Turn off the damn TV. Talk to your neighbor. Get to know some people. Find out what they're going through. Tell them what you're going through. Is it really that easy on you? If it's not that easy on you, guess what? It's not that easy on the rest of us. We're all struggling here. But the politicians, and both parties are the bad as the other one. The politicians and the media want you to think that your neighbor's doing better than you. He's privileged. He's got white privilege. Then you listen to the other newscast, and they tell you, oh, these black guys over here, they're soaking it all up, man. You're working your butt off just giving it to them. Can't you see that they're all just baiting us against each other? Can't you see that? Can't you see that we all have to pull together to correct this stuff that's going on in our country? Am I the only one seeing this? I know I'm not. How many of you are just afraid to go ahead and stand up, stand out, and shout out? "97 people watched that video yesterday." What was it? 7 people, I think, had any opinion on it at all. I'm going to check it out. One comment, 6 likes, 2 dislikes out of 68 views as of when I read this one. 8 people out of 68. The rest of them, they probably didn't even watch all of it. I don't want to hear it. What's he rambling on about? I don't want to hear it. And with that attitude, it's hard to fix a country. 8 people. Now, 2 of them had a bad opinion of it, but at least they had an opinion. At least they did voice their opinion. Kudos to you for that. You might not have agreed with what I said. You might not have liked what I said, but at least you had an opinion on it. As you can see, that's better than the average. But along with them averages, you see that more agreed with what I had to say than disagreed. That ought to tell you something right there. Folks, I ain't trying to beat people up. I'm really not. I ain't trying to beat up no race or no ethnic group or no political group. I have told people numerous times that I am not a Democrat, I am not a Republican, I'm a pissed off American. I'm a firm believer that our borders should be secure. I'm a firm believer that if you come here legally, I welcome you with open arms. If you come here illegally, I think your ass ought to be kicked out. I'm a firm believer in term limits for our politicians. I'm a firm believer that them politicians should not get retirement off of us the rest of their life. I do not think that being an elected politician should earn you retirement. I'm a firm believer that if you go into politics on a servant salary and you retire a millionaire or become a millionaire, you need to be investigated big time. We need to know where your money came from. That's just me. They're selling us out. They're selling us down the river. Both parties. And yet when somebody like me speaks the truth, you get upset. How many of y'all will even watch this to the end? Very few. You won't want to hear the truth. You'd rather listen to that FM radio or CB radio or watch your life example stuff, whatever they call that nonsense. Well, I'm liable to drive a few of you off because I am going to be doing a little more preaching on this stuff. We have to do something. We need to get the word out to everybody. Hey, I don't have a problem with you. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what ethnic group you are. I don't care what part of the world that your family's from. If you're an American or you're here legally and you're working for what you got, kudos, brother or sister. I love you. That's what it's about. If you're here freeloading or here illegal or you're taking from the little guy and patting your pocket, Mr. Politician, I got a problem with you. How about let's uniting and finding our common enemy, which is our elected officials. It's not you and I. It should not be the black guy against the white guy. It shouldn't be the Mexican against the black guy. It shouldn't be the Chinese guy against the Indian. We shouldn't be having those issues in this day and age. And you don't really see it out here on the roads. You only see it on TV and on political comments and in your cities. Yes, I do have black friends. Yes, I have Mexican friends. Yes, I do have Indian blood. And I ain't got a problem with nobody that's out here working for a living. I don't know what else to say about it, folks. All I can tell you is I love you. God loves you. I hope you have a blissful evening. I hope you do talk to the good Lord. And the only way to bring our country back is going to take more than just praying and asking God to help our country. We have to help ourselves. God will help us help ourselves. But He ain't going to just send down a lightning bolt and cure us. We have to get our act together and we have to work on it. Y'all have a blessed evening. Good night.